It's been a long time since you've seen her, huh? Well, no, it's right at the house with the actual time. But sometimes you do, sometimes you let her. Oh, you never have? Oh.
Well, I never get sick.
Yeah,
Usually get hurt.
yeah, that's true. Maybe it's what they thought Halloween down there, for Saturdays.
I suppose I should turn this off and turn on my Wi-Fi hotspot. That way I can have access to the items to show it. One of the things about mandated reporters in a small town is that they may be friends with the people you're trying to turn in. And although the law says that they still have to turn it in many cases they won't. They don't want to ruin their friendship. So if you're molested by somebody who is friends with, well, Scott DaCosta, who's the sheriff of Dole County, you're screwed. Now, as we all know, if you're victimized to the point that you want your life to end, and you try to turn that in, instead of them understanding that instead of trying to kill yourself, you're coming to them for help because people are committing criminal acts against them. But instead, what happens? They lock you up as if you were attempting to kill yourself in front of these people instead of trying to get help. If you are honest with them and you say, hey, I'm being bullied to the point that I want my life to end, I need help stopping these bullies, and then literally I have this recorded. So what you're telling me is that you want to kill yourself. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. So having to record it, I think it sucks that I have to. But then again, when you're homeless and disabled, you go into a hospital, most of the time you get treated like you're a junkie, you're an addict. And a lot of these mandated reporters, they might start off with good intentions and listening, but once they realize that there's police officers who committed crimes, they start looking for excuses to dip out. That's against the law as well. Now, these mandated reporters keep telling me that the law says things that it doesn't. Obviously, on the last video we went through and showed the mandated reporter videos and screenshots of going to their actual website and reading what the laws actually are from their actual websites. The fact that I've got mandated reporter after mandated reporter not following those guidelines and lying to me outright about what they say, this is felonious. I get that some of my predators are their friends. I get that. It's not a huge town. Some of these officers who committed crimes against me here, they, I'm sure, bring a lot of the people to the hospital, or when somebody's in an ambulance, they show up. So they're familiar on a face-to-face, first-name basis in many cases. So when you try to turn in the fact that you were abused and the police, well, treated you the way that they treat a homeless male, they treat you like you're a schizophrenic and a delusional person. Like you're lazy and just don't want to get a job. It's cute, but it's inaccurate. When it comes to mandated reporters, these are the people that at-risk adults such as myself are supposed to go to when we're being abused. We've got 6 years of mandated reporters sending me to other people who send me to other people who send me to other people. We get to see clearly that there are people like Natalie Bollinger who got her brains blown out because police officers didn't want to do their job for somebody they deemed mentally ill. You know what? I am different. I'm autistic. That's not the same as being retarded. That's not the same thing as being schizophrenic. That's not the same thing as being delusional. Now that's the ace I got in my corner there, is the fact that I'm not diagnosed as any of those. Marcia Estrada is the only person who has actually taken a look enough and been involved enough to know whether or not I am schizophrenic or delusional. Now, those of you who don't know what the DSM-5 is, this is the book that they legally have to make their decisions based on. If Scott DaCosta decides that when I try to turn him in, that he's just going to say that I'm schizophrenic and have me sent to a mental institution or have me sent to a hospital, he walks in and he says, oh, this person is. And it's the honor system. They just want to believe that that officer must be telling the truth. We got another one of these fake profiles harassing me. We get a lot of these. What do? We take a screenshot to prove that it's not a schizophrenic delusion. And then we click on it. Oh, come on. Oh, these things are kind of complicated sometimes. Anyway, we got a lot of people on here who get on and harass me and make fun of me. And the fact is, I'm used to that, but I shouldn't be. Nobody should. Now this guy, he named his harassment profile Sean the Telekinetics God, which sure is cute. Now this guy's been at it for quite a few years. Sometimes won't let me get rid of them. Let's see, I can do this somehow. Anyway, I get treated like harassment, like such as from this feller here is fake, like I'm making it up. And then of course there's the fact that I endure this abuse in real life as well. And of course I get the, you just need to man up. Well, I use her on this channel. Blam. And that was easy. That's all it took. In real life, I can't do that. In real life, I have to try to turn it into mandated reporters. And if they're friends with my predators, well, they've got positions to allow them to do some pretty horrible things. Marcia Estrada, she speaks about Sheriff Scott DaCosta, how she was already familiar with him, and also familiar with how crooked western Nebraska is. She has inside knowledge and she spoke about it. It is recorded and it is on my YouTube channel and it is admissible in court. me being repeatedly victimized by Deuel County Sheriff's Department for trying to turn them in. That's not exclusive to Deuel County Sheriff's Department. The way that the homeless people are treated nationwide is pretty universal. It's just assumed that we must be druggies or psychopaths or child molesters or, any number of creepy things like that. But the reality is we're the most victimized people in the country. Bar none, we are the most likely people to be murdered by police in the United States. If homeless people had the same population size as black people and disabled people, homeless people would account for over 99% of those killed by police every year. And we're told we need to go to the back of the bus for whatever reason. We've got all these groups that are fighting for specific rights for specific people. But when folks who fall into those categories happen to be homeless or disabled, all of that goes right out the window. All of a sudden, nobody cares. Now we get to see how when you're victimized to the point that you want your life to end, if you go in by yourself, they lock you up, they say he's got suicidal ideations, and they use that to discredit you in court. Like you're a bad person because of the abuse that you've endured or because you tried to speak up about it. And they intentionally misuse that information to harm you for trying to turn in your predators. Intentionally talk over you so that you can't give details. Natalie Bollinger got her brains blown out. Christine Buhit, she's dead too. Stephen McMillion's dead as well. Rory Jepson is also dead. Janine Barrett's dead. Anna Hunka is dead. Demetrius Shankling as well. Kibro Hatay. Elijah McClain. Just to name a few. That's just the dead ones. That's not to mention all of the assaults by these predators. That's the problem with mandated reporters not taking it seriously. Is that when they don't take it seriously, those predators get to do it to others. And then when they do it to others and get busted, then these mandated reporters who didn't want to do their jobs to begin with are mad scrambling to hide the fact that they didn't do their jobs. Mandated reporters not doing their jobs got Natalie Bollinger shot in the head. Rand Ingersoll, she was involved in the situation. She's dead too. Now, with Marcia Estrada, she is a medical professional. She has been in the field for, well, now at least 43 years. And I got the evidence right here. She states very loudly and very clearly that I am autistic, that I do have PTSD, that I am not schizophrenic, I am not delusional, I don't have bipolar disorder, and I'm not psychotic. I'm scared, and these are reactions to massive quantities of trauma, and you want to call it drama to dismiss me and dismiss all that I've been through. With mandated reporters refusing to do their jobs and sending me to other people. For me, knowing what the laws are and still having to deal with these people playing stupid and telling me it's someone else's job, always someone else's job. The stuff that these pulled with my Medicare and my Medicaid, the stuff that they did with my disability because they have the power to do so. wrong. The number of physical assaults that I've had to endure, and then the fact that I have to be afraid. I mean, there's a video on my YouTube channel that's of a 14-year-old girl here in Tillamook getting assaulted by a sheriff's deputy. He didn't even say a word. Got out of his vehicle, ran up to her, grabbed a hold of her, spun her around, took a running start into the side of his vehicle, and tossed her on the ground. It's on video, live in public for everybody to see. Situation with Rebecca Gross-Nickel-Foley disappearing and being human trafficked, and it not being taken seriously. They tried pretending that she was delusional, claiming that she didn't feed people in Boulder, Colorado. That was something that she had made up. I was one of those people she fed. But see, that's one of the tactics that's used when you've got cops who don't want to do their jobs. Oh, he's mentally ill. Oh, she's mentally ill. And this is what makes us at risk. This is why we are the most targeted people in the country. And there are laws that are supposed to protect us, and there are places that we're supposed to be able to go with mandated reporters. And those mandated reporters are supposed to do a very specific job. Now, when we go to the church, like we got recorded at the Seventh-day Adventist, yeah, Eileen is a mandated reporter, but she doesn't know what that means. She doesn't know what that entails. She had to ask somebody else, and he didn't know. Now in Hood River, because of the abuse that I was going through, legally, they're supposed to have a social worker do that. And there is a social worker at that hospital. Even the hospital lied to me and said they didn't have a social worker. I've got recording after recording after recording. Well, here's the thing. When you try to turn it into a mandated reporter and they blow you off and they lie to you about what the law says, like that right there is grounds for dismissal from any position that they happen to hold. When it comes to clergy, the clergy are mandated reporters. Why aren't they getting their training? If they are getting their training, then why aren't they following it? Why are they saying that they're not getting it? If they're really not getting it, that is a major issue, and it has gotten people killed. And the evidence that I have shows that. If mandated reporters had done their jobs, when I tried to turn in the abuse, Natalie Bollinger would never have gotten shot in the head. If I had been listened to about the victimization against the homeless by Boulder PD, Benjamin Harvey never would have frozen to death. This isn't just bad laws, this is an ignorant public and news media that tells you how to think and how to feel. For you, these are just names. For me, Natalie Marie Bollinger was a human being that I knew in real life. For me, Benjamin Harvey was somebody that I knew in real life. Stephen McMillian, someone I knew in real life. This isn't just drama to me. This isn't just entertainment to me. You get to see time and again how the system victimizes the victim for going in. You get raped by your dad. You tell your mom, she doesn't listen. You cut on yourself. Boom, you're in a hospital. Suicidal ideations. Later on, when you're real lonely from not being able to see your friends and you're over-medicated, I'll give you a choice. You can either go back and live with your predators or you can stay there. stay there in the oubliette, well, so to speak.
Yeah.
A place of forgetting. They'll forget about you until you're 18 and they'll throw you out on the streets. You go and see your friends, and they've already heard from your predators, your parents, that you're crazy and you're in a mental institution. You're mentally ill, and from then on, anybody can do whatever they want to you. That boy down the street thinks you're cute. He knows how to take no for an answer, but he also knows that you've got the tag of mentally ill, so he can do whatever he wants to you. Alright, I gotta go out to my car and get another battery because my phone's about to die. So I should take that as an opportunity to end the video. I'll start another one as soon as I know that the phone isn't gonna die. Good to be radio. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.